Hello everyone and welcome back to my first ever tier list video, and today this tier list will be about the Fallout DLCs, and they're going to be graded onto different factors here. So I'm going to grade it depending on how rewarding the DLC is, how fun it is, the exploration, so the map itself, the quests of this DLC, and also my personal experience slash is it hard or is it easy. So basically I'm going to judge every DLC by my own opinion, so these are not the community's opinion, this is my own opinion from my perspective and my own experience from having played the game. And I've done each and every one of these DLCs individually, and I'm going to explain why they're either good or bad. So yeah, let's get into it. So first one to start with is the Broken Steel DLC. The Broken Steel DLC is a special one. Actually, the Broken Steel DLC is an expansion of the game, as we know it. So basically, the Broken Steel DLC is a must-have because not only does it expand the main story, the Broken Steel DLC also makes it that once you finish the game will not end. Because on the original game, so if you're playing only the normal, regular Fallout 3, when you finish the main story, the game ends and you have to make a new one. But when you're playing the Broken Steel DLC, when you have this one, when you finish the main story, the game will not end, and you are free to explore the wastes once again, even if you're done and finish the game. The Broken Steel DLC also adds an expansion to the main story, which is, in my opinion, it's not that bad, but I do still think it's a pretty rewarding main quest. The fun was like a 3 out of 5 personally. Some parts were a little bit wacky and weird. It doesn't really make sense with the main story, but yes. From my personal experience, I personally think the Broken Steel DLC should be in the main game, in the base game itself. And I'm kind of disappointed at, Bethesda not to put Broken Steel in the base game. The quests that are given as in the expansion are, like I said, they're fun, but a bit wacky and they're a bit weird. The map itself doesn't really change, but there is some new enemies and some other weapons, like the incinerator I think is from the Broken Steel, and other such techs are added throughout the game. So Broken Steel DLC is a must-have. So if you're a long-time player of Fallout 3, you must have this DLC. But I am disappointed a little bit, so it goes a minus, I'd say. So this is an A minus. So now let's go to Operation Anchorage. So Operation Anchorage is a special one. So basically you're in a simulation and you are the Americans and you must eliminate the Chinese communists out of the Anchorage, through a war. Basically, if you like, this is like a big mixed match of fighting and adventure in one. There's not much to explore, so on the exploration part, this one really sucks because it's really more of a straightforward kind of Call of Duty mission setting there than you're gonna have while playing Anchorage. The fun, I think it's pretty fun. I think you do experience with a couple of weapons. Not enough weapons in my opinion, but still enough to please yourself. Also, also it's quite rewarding. So at the end of the DLC, the armory is going to open up and you have access to the Gauss rifle that you see here and the T-51B armor, which is one of the best armor in the game. So on the rewarding part, it is quite rewarding in the end. The quests are really straightforward. They're a straightforward kind of Call of Duty mission, like destroy the artilleries or kill all the Chinese. It's very straightforward quest, a bit bland and boring in my opinion. So that already puts it on a lower rank. And from my personal experience, it was a pretty easy DLC. Like I said, very straightforward. It's just like if you just like running and shooting into people, I think this is your DLC. It wasn't really hard, and I liked it, but it wasn't a really special DLC to me. So I think it. I think I'm gonna put it in C or even D, like a C minus here. I'd say C minus only because it, I think it's one of my least favorite ones here. Um, no, I'm gonna put it at D actually, just D. It's a disappointing DLC though. So now we're gonna go to the pit. Uh, now the pit is a different thing here. The pit is actually quite a good DLC. There's a lot of things I need to talk here about. First of all, the map itself. It's not super big, but it's just big enough that the exploration is fun. So on that part, the exploration part, it does receive a good mark on this one, at least a 4 out of 5. The quests itself are pretty damn fun. So basically the main setting is that you're a slave in Pittsburgh and you must rescue the slaves from the raiders. And so you go through a lot of different quests and hassle to do this main task of yours. I think the pit is honestly I don't want to spoil anything there, but the quest part of the game, the quests are pretty damn fun. Pretty much one of the most fun quests in the DLC. To be fair, I think the pit is one of the most rewarding DLC out there, because at the end of the DLC you get like the infiltrator, like a silencer weapon with a sniper scope, lots of different types of ammo, different armors. There's a lot of new stuff you can find, like the Wild Bill sidearm, which is a unique 32 pistol that is actually pretty damn good. The pit in all is a very good DLC, and I think on the fun part it ranks pretty high, because it's a constant action and exploration, and I really like that. The story is a bit wacky, but honestly it doesn't really matter, because the fun part, the rewarding, and the exploration just make the whole thing shine a lot more than that. The quests, like I said, the quests are incredible in this one, and from my personal experience, it was pretty hard at first. Well, I mean, I was playing in hard difficulty, and then I played in very hard, so it's obvious that I had difficulty at first. But from my personal experience, it's extremely doable if you play normal, and it's a very fun DLC. And I suggest that if you're kind of looking on which one to start with first, I think the pit is the one you should start with, as it is the most fun of all of them, pretty much, and the fun scale at least. It has to go in the A tier, because this one is really good. I'm gonna take this one for last. We're gonna go with Mothership Zeta first. So Mothership Zeta is a special one. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it's all based on my own opinion, and not others' opinions. So the community thinks that Mothership Zeta DLC is a bad DLC, and honestly I think it is a pretty good DLC in my opinion, and I'm gonna explain why. So basically the setting is you're in a spaceship and you must escape from it and kill all the aliens in there. So basically it's kind of a survival like DLC. You have all your gear, you're in a spaceship, and there's other people there from other timelines, and you must help each other, and then in the end escape and kill the alien captain and prevent them from basically destroying Earth. So Mothership Zeta is highly technological, so basically you're in a spaceship all along. It's pretty much the same setting. So that's the part I really didn't like, is the exploration part. I mean, the spaceship is pretty big, but you always stay in the same setting, the same kind of, art, and how everything looks is pretty much the same. So basically there wasn't a lot to look at, because at first it visually looked pretty good, because there was something that you're not used to in the Fallout universe, but then you get used to it and the setting stays pretty much the same for the entire DLC. Fun, I think it was an extremely fun ride. It's always different. There's a lot of different places you can go. It's quite rewarding. It's actually one of the most rewarding DLCs out of all the fives. At the end, you get alien guns, alien power cells, alien ammo. all of this is extremely great. If you're energy weapons master, this is your DLC. You get a lot of good stuff on that part. I think the quests are a bit, I mean, okay, yeah, the quests are not the best, but I think they're still pretty good, and you do get a lot of fun. But from my perspective, Mothership Zeta is more one of these DLCs where you're gonna run in a straight line, kill all the aliens, grab all this stuff. You know, you don't really care about the quest, really. You loot and everything, and you explore, you look around, and your goal really is to look you look tip to toe to the spaceship and explore everything. All in all, the Mothership Zeta is a short and sweet DLC, a bit straightforward, but I think it is a pretty fun one to do on your first playthroughs. You should definitely try that one out. On my personal experience on this one, so personally I think it was one of the easiest DLCs out there. So I did it in hard with barely any gear at first, and I didn't even have my gear at first, and it was a pretty easy solid win. It's even if you play in hard, it is a pretty easy DLC as the guns and everything you get for support drones. This one it's hard to rank because, well, you know, it kind of goes between an A and a B tier, but I think it deserves to be in the B tier. And finally, we have the Point Lookout DLC. Well, there's a good fucking reason I want to keep this one for last. The Point Lookout DLC is by far, and that's not even close, my favorite DLCs out of all of them. The Point Lookout DLC is as the best exploration out of all these four. The map in Point Lookout is very big, it's huge, it's filled with settlements, there's always something to see. It's not like the regular wasteland where a lot of it is just barren wasteland with nothing and no locations to explore. In Point Lookout it's quite filled, and there's a lot of things to explore and a lot of quests to start. I think the setting is extremely nice. You're in Maryland, and basically in Point Lookout, it's basically like a huge island, and it's a swamp area with like an horror kind of cult theme kind of thing. It's probably also my favorite setting out of all the five of them, I mean. So that is the best setting, the best map and exploration wise, and it's quite literally the most terrifying DLC. It's quite scary, and that's what I like about it. It's really different from the other ones. The quests in this one are absolutely fantastic. They're just as good as the Pit, I mean, or maybe even better than the Pit DLC's quests. Point Lookout quests are just incredibly fun. I think the main story of this one is it's okay. Not terrible, but it's okay. But at the end you do get some plot twists and stuff, so it does, you know, pay off for itself. I guess the side quests are really great. The exploration is really fun. Is it rewarding? It's not as rewarding as Mothership Zeta for sure. That's for sure. But Point Lookout does give you a lot of new guns, a lot of new gear, and unique weapons. So it's hard to say, but I mean it does pay off. So you do get a lot of new gear and new guns, as the lever action rifle and such, that are pretty damn good in my opinion. So it's rewarding, and the fun part, yes, the fun. It is an extremely fun DLC, but it is also, in my opinion, the hardest of all of them by far. Like, if you're playing this on hard or very hard, is, from my personal experience, is extremely difficult, and I mean it. You need to be fully geared with the best armor you can have at your level, the best guns, because a simple hunting rifle is not going to kill these guys. Just a warning. Also, from my personal experience, in terms of difficulty, like I said, not only is it extremely difficult, but the monsters have really good guns, they do high damage, and it's really easy to get killed. So this one is the most challenging one, and that's why I like. It's always a challenge to play this one. So yeah, it's different. And from my personal experience, it was an extremely fun DLC, and I think most of the Fallout fans can agree that Point Lookout is one of the best ones in all these four. So, yeah. So this one goes in the S tier, 100% S plus, and it is by far the best DLC that I have ever played in any video games ever, and that's not even an exaggeration. So yeah, that was my that basically was my tier list for today, and I want to finish this on a different note. So what I want to say here is, so you need definitely buy this one, more for experienced players though. This one is extremely fun, very rewarding DLC, and this one is, I personally don't like it, but you know, others would like it. I don't know, others might. And I think the Fallout 3 DLCs are pretty much one of the most fun DLCs I have ever played in any video game, so I highly recommend that if you do not have any of the DLCs, you should at least buy Broken Steel and another one of your choice in these four. Most likely the Pit or Point Lookout, personally. So that was my tier list, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, and also please give this video a like and comment down any suggestions for any other tier lists you'd want me to do. And I'm gonna see you guys on our next video. Peace out.